Max is there waiting for us, and he says that he was looking for us. And once again, this was not enough time for him to run back there, and he was not out of breath or anything. He was like sitting down, just sitting there waiting for us. And this is like a heavier guy, and we just saw him do like a tuck and roll into the bushes, and nothing ever came out of the bushes. We sat there and like looked, and we're looking on the opposite side, and we're like, well, we kind of don't want to stick around next to this bush. And we went back up to the camp, and he was there. So from there, we are absolutely freaking out, and basically we put on this music, or I put on this music. I just intuitively put on this music, and it was something to just help me calm down, because I was about to freak out, like I was about to have a panic attack. And after, in hindsight, I realized that this music may have actually been really helping us. I think that it's possible that the artist that made this music was linking to positive type ET, and that I was pretty much on the same vibe, if you want to use that, as that artist, or like tuning into it. And we played it, and those sounds from that music, I think, literally helped us. And I know that sounds really strange, but it basically was just like circling the camp is what we were hearing. Like, we were all together, and we heard like stomping, like heavy walking, like bipedal walking around the camp. But the weird part was that it sounded like it was from the cliffside area, and like it was walking back there. A few days before that, we had gone back there, and we had seen that somebody had put a giant metal cage, like that was on the edge of the property line, right? So on the other edge of the property line, we saw that they had put a giant cage over there. And we assumed that it was for hunting hogs, like a hog trap. And allegedly, Sasquatch will be around hog traps and walk down the rivers. But so will skinwalkers, allegedly, is walk down rivers. And I have no idea what that thing was. If it was a gray and interdimensional Sasquatch skinwalker, I would love for you guys to put your thoughts and theories as to what this encounter was out of all of those things, or something else that I don't know, because it also goes back to Native American type of stuff. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, that this was Native American land and was basically highly valued, and was supposed to be a non-violent area because of how highly valued it was. This was like a holy place that everybody pilgrimaged to visit this place and have breakthroughs in a non-violent way. And the Spanish, when they got here, they said that they would ask the natives of these places that lived here, where did you come from? And they would say the bottom of the tip of the Americas and the north of the tip of the Americas. Like, they didn't know the Americas, but basically that's what they were talking about, was the bottom tip from the top tip. So Canada to South America, they traveled to Central Texas because of the aquifer and spring system that's here in some select cities, like New Braunfels, San Marcos, Wimberley, probably more. I think maybe Fredericksburg. I don't know about that. That has a big river, but anyways, there's lots and lots of springs and caves in this area. This is the cave country. We have the world's largest amount of bats in the world in this location. So, yeah, it's hard to know what exactly this experience was. So, we have this bipedal heavy thing circling around the camp, and we have this gray type of thing that just looked like our friend that was in the bushes down at the bottom of the hill. And above us, we have these two white lights that come in from the southwest type of area. And they start doing circles above our camp, two white orbs doing circles around us, one on either side of the circle in the sky. And they do that for a couple turns until we notice them. And once we notice them, they do it a couple more times, and then they shoot off to the horizon, northeast-ish, and go past the horizon. Then come back from the horizon and come back over us and start doing circles some more. So it was almost like it was showing us that they weren't natural. I mean, that's kind of how I felt, was that there was some sort of light show display, kind of like a show of force, really. It was like we had multiple shows of force going on. And when these circles of lights, or these orbs, were circling us in the sky, the activity on the ground kind of started to die down a little bit. At first, it was like really hectic because both of them were going on. But then it was like the ground stuff started dissipating, and another light came in from the rear. So that would be like the southeast-ish again. It was an orange, slow-moving light in the sky going very, very slowly across the sky. And I would have said that it could have been a satellite or something like that because it was going on a straight path. But it comes up near one of these white circle things because they're also start moving around, and they stop doing the circle. Hence, this orange one comes overhead, and it's just slowly going overhead, almost just like a satellite would. I would have thought it was a satellite. Maybe it was. I don't know. But it gets to a certain point near one of these white orbs in the sky, and it just does a clean 90-degree turn instantly. Boom. 90-degree turn. 90-degree turn again. And then another 90-degree turn. So it does a square, basically, and then keeps on going. Or not a perfect square, but it does 3 90-degree turns to move out of the way of this white orb, and then continues on sailing the same direction that it was slowly. And then the white orb comes back. We start seeing more white orbs, like double or triple, like parallel shooting stars coming in at the same time. And we start seeing these orbs like almost as if they're being flicked across the screen. You would see them just like shoot crazy fast from one place to another. And sometimes it was instant, and sometimes you could see them move. So it was like there was a light show going on above us. Finally, another one comes in from the south and hovers over us in the north. And we actually got that one on film. That actually stayed up until we left. It was still up in the sky whenever we left the next day. And this was about like a 4-hour experience from like 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. approximately. And whenever this giant bright one came from the south and then hovered in the north, it was extremely bright, way brighter than all the other ones. And with all the other ones, we tried to get it on film, but we just got black like screen. We weren't able to capture the movement or the lights. But this one was so bright that we could easily get it on camera. And what's more is we have a jet pass by next to it. So you can see like the difference between what I mean, not right next to it, but nearby. And I was wondering what are they thinking? Could they even see it? And is that why they went over there? But so you can see the difference between a plane and this extremely bright stationary hovering object that we saw fly across the sky and hover and stay there in place. And I started telling my friends that I felt like I was having a psychic connection with this hovering one, and that I tried to just focus on love and send love out to it and try to make some sort of contact. And I felt like they were watching me back, and that there was some sort of contact that was being made, and basically they were just observing us, and I feel like they were protecting us, because even whenever we were filming it, the experience, that we had the phone up, and the phone was trying to detect faces in the wood lines, which was very disconcerting. You know, we thought that we were done with the stalking, or I mean, I guess we didn't, but yeah, we were hoping that we were done with the stalking, and then with the video, just like focusing on face detection in the woods and stuff. I was telling my friend to just don't even let it focus on that. Just focus on the thing in the sky. But I did write a report about that and put it into MUFON, and it was I didn't put everything in there. I had a feeling that I should not put anything that happened on the ground in the report. So I only put stuff that happened in the sky in the report. And I get a phone call a couple weeks later, maybe a couple days later. I don't know how long after. I got a phone call from a very old sounding person. And maybe it was just somebody that worked with MUFON. You know, this was before I knew that MUFON was owned and funded by the federal government and agencies in many circumstances. We found that out. Even ex-intelligence people being at the head of MUFON. But anyways, so I get a phone call from this old guy, and I feel like he wasn't asking any questions, any of the right questions. He was asking me like who I was with, where I was at the time, like where I am now, and I feel like he wasn't asking any of the right questions. He just was trying to get information about me, and so I just didn't give him anything. And you know, I'm sorry if you're listening and that was you, and that was just some random MUFON guy, but I was spooked. So I didn't say anything. And the next day, you know, me and my friends are talking about what happened, and we were like, man, that was crazy. And I asked my friend James, the one least likely of all to be sort of pranking or joking, or especially to the degree that it went, because it went so far that we were all so freaked out, that I asked James, I was like, so what happened, like with you getting lost? Because usually you're pretty on point with being in the woods and stuff. Like, how did you get lost, and why did you walk into the woods? I was like, what, to begin all of it, why did you walk into the woods? And he was like, I don't even remember walking into the woods. And he said, I just remember walking to the edge line to go and pee. And as I'm standing there peeing, that was like basically the last thing that he remembered, he said. And I was like, so what happened at the hill? What was the first thing that you remembered after that? And he's like, I remember walking around up at the top of the hill for a minute. Like not, we didn't run into each other right away. Like, I was walking around, and he said that he fell into a hole, which there are these really peculiar holes in some spots that are drilled down so far that you can't shoot a laser down it. Like, the laser just keeps on going, and if you drop rocks, you don't ever hear anything hit the bottom. But it's only like maybe 2, 3, 4 inch hole, which isn't safe. I mean, like, something could fall in there, but it's like a drill hole that never got capped or something. But it's only a couple inches wide, enough for your leg to fall in, especially because he was a little bit of a bigger guy too. And so he was like, yeah, my leg fell into the hole, and then I was like stuck for a second, and then something reached out and grabbed my hand, and whenever I looked up, I was looking at myself, is what he said. And he said that the thing helped him out and walked away, and that he was looking at himself walk away, and that's whenever he ran into me like a minute or two later, because it walked down the hill like towards the south, and he walked up the hill to the north, and that's where I was. And yeah, that was peculiar. And then on the leg that fell into the hole, he had, and he was wearing shoes obviously and socks, he had a triangle mark on his foot, on the top of his foot, in the center of the top of his foot. He had 3, like, it looked like maybe puncture wounds. It looked like puncture wounds or like a scrape, or I don't know. It looked like puncture wounds to me, but they were really light pink, and it was healing like really quickly. Like, it healed within a day, and it was just totally gone. So that was really peculiar, and I had gotten a picture of that, but it's been lost to time, unfortunately. But I do have some pictures from that thing of the really bright UFO. We did get pictures of that, or of the orb, the really bright orb. I guess it's a UFO, but it's just basically a speck of light in the black sky. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing that, I'll definitely put that in there. But yeah, what do you think, guys, think that was? Because I've thought about that for a long time. And somebody also had said maybe even Texas Goatman type of thing, because sometimes the walking sounded like it had hooves, or could have had hooves, or something like that. Like, it sounded like a bipedal horse, is kind of one way to put it. But not all the steps sounded like it had hooves. But it was very heavy, because the dirt was soft, and you could hear it like walking on the dirt. And it sounded very heavy. At least the thing on the north side by the cliff. The thing in the brush, it was like agile, extremely agile. It wasn't heavy and clumsy at all. It was very light and agile, I would say. But it was able to look like a heavier person, but then do a crazy maneuver, like a what's it called, where you do the jumping, the parkour, like a parkour maneuver, you know. But yeah, I've never been there since, and since next year is the anniversary, maybe I should go back there. I probably won't film it and take pictures and stuff, because they say that you're not supposed to share. I don't really know what's going on at this location. I will also add that this could be dangerous, and that there was a massive flood before this along the rivers. So this was like almost like an eerie time to go, because it was a couple months after this massive flood, and the river winds back and forth, and some of these edges of the river, when it was flooding, I guess because of the curvature, the water stacks up on the edge, and it gets taller and taller and taller, and some of this area was under like 50, 60 feet of water in some cases when the river was bending. So there was washing machines in the top of the trees, very, very tall trees, washing machines with clothes still in it at the top. And yeah, that's just goes to show how powerful of a storm and a flood that was to put a washing machine at the top of a 50 or 60-foot tree. And so this river had pretty much been reformed. Like, its shapes had been reformed within months of this happening. And I feel like that has part to do with it. In fact, near the area, there is cement in the river that's probably like a 50-ton piece of cement. Easily could be 50 tons, maybe more. Maybe not that much, but it's probably pretty close to 50. It could be more. It's like a structural foundation of a road. Like 50, 60 feet of water gushing down a river will completely destroy a bridge or a road or houses that are in the way. And it did. There was loss of life and loss of homes and bridges. And there's a piece of a bridge still in the river. It tells you how much water it was and how heavy this thing is and how much force was going on with that flood. I have no idea where it came from, but it's like a culvert from underneath a road. Like, it washed out the entire road and the culvert. And so this is like an underground piping system piece that was floated down the river for I don't know how long. But if there's underground piping tunnels that got washed out from this river, maybe that's where this thing came from or something. I'm not really sure. But I will say as well that the skin on this thing, whenever I was looking through the brush, it looked moist. It was reflecting off the sun, or the moon was reflecting light off of it. So I think that it was like a moist type of skin thing. And yeah, maybe I can do some more with this experience another time. Like animate it or something. If I ever get the money to do that, that would be pretty fun. But I just wanted to share this experience, and maybe I'll share some other ones another time. I've a lot of different types of experiences. This is definitely the like top-notch one for me. I mean, it was so long, and then we have the video, and yeah, it was freaky. The only frustrating part of having a 4-hour experience and then not knowing what you experienced is just that you have so much to go off of, and how can you have such a big experience and still not know anything about it? It just tells you how deep the mysteries are with this sort of thing. And I definitely treat going out into the woods a lot more seriously than I would before, and that some of these things happen closer to town than you would ever realize. And I'm just gonna show some pictures and like a small video from that night. I'm not gonna play the full video because it's really, really embarrassing, frankly. But there's also not much on it. There's just like us kind of freaking out and recapping, and there's a light in the sky, and as we're filming it, this giant cloud comes in and blocks the light for a little bit, but the plane flies over, and then when the clouds pass, the light is still there. Like I said, it was there until we left that morning at like 9 a.m. It was still a really bright object just in the middle of the sky. I guess everybody assumed it was a star, but what type of star stays that bright at 9 a.m.? It was like piercingly bright. But yeah, the plane flies by it, and we don't get it side by side on the screen, but I can put them next to each other with editing. Dude, but I'm telling you, I was hearing all sorts of weird noises.
All night.
All night. Were you hearing anything?
I was there and like just like random mouth like squeals.
Dude, those gunshots though, like
What about them?
that
Right.
was just crazy.
Randomness.
They were close.
And how we were all ready to get up.
Well, yeah, because they sounded close.
Yeah.
Check it out.
What the fuck? Yo, you're still filming, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a plane, but I mean like, and then, hey boy, right in between the trees right there. Like, still there. That's what a plane looks like. That's what a plane looks like.
Yeah, I don't want to taint the jury by saying this, because I'll just preface by saying I don't know what it was, and like we've already mentioned that it could have been many different things. I kind of wonder if it was multiple things though coming together, like a gray and some sort of Bigfoot Sasquatch type of thing and UFOs, like all at the same time, and perhaps there was different factions at play. It seemed like there was a war going on. We were in the middle of a war zone. It's almost the type of feeling that it was. At first, there was these special agent type things that I would describe that were really interested in us. And after that, it was like a free-for-all started, or like they were trying to still infiltrate the camp, but something else was preventing them or making their job harder. That's just a theory. One thing that I will say is I definitely got feelings from the stuff in the air that was protecting us, and possibly that music was calling them in. And yeah, we just saw like a lot of different stuff entering and leaving in the atmosphere, like probably a dozen craft, I would say, at the least. And yeah, it just seemed like there was a lot of different stuff going on. So tell me what you guys think and what your opinions are. If you have any theories, you can email me at inspiredearthpodcast@gmail.com, or leave a message on Spotify or whatever, on YouTube, Facebook. I post some stuff on Instagram occasionally for fun. So yeah, if you have anything you want to add to that or any feedback, more than welcome to email me or comment, or Patreon. That's another one. If you want to hear more stuff like that, just let me know what you guys want to hear, and I'll try to do a news update ASAP, because we've had a lot of cool news. So with that, I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I might do like a retelling of this. I had fun with the audio, like looking through audios and stuff with this, so it'd be fun to make a more theatrical version at some point, or even I don't have near the resources of this, but it would be really fun to do a audio play. I could always look into that. There's more options than one would realize, I suppose. But I did have fun, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will talk about some more experiences in the future. So with that, I look forward to your feedback. Be safe out there.